All right, beautiful. So let me do what I told you guys that I would do. I'm going to demo some stuff of how you guys get these done in QuickBooks, and then we'll open up for Q&A. Then we'll pick a winner, and we'll all in our lunch date today, right? It's like a play date, Sylvia.
Yeah, for you, Will. This is your type of play date. This is not my type of play date, Will.
This is a really good play day for me. I really come here and I really enjoy these. Sorry. Uh, this is like my high. Maybe we should go back to weekly, Sylvia. All right, great. So guys, let's move over into demoing this, right? Because now if we outline our workflow, how do we make this process more efficient, right? How do we set up things that run automatically for us that we don't have to worry about? I know I saw there was a few people on the call. I probably say this on every call. Just bear with me, guys. You guys know that I do this from a QuickBooks demo company. For the new guys that's here, right? If you go out to Google and you just type in QuickBooks Test Drive, right? This is a demo
Yeah,
company.
this not your it's not your test drive screen.
Okay, so screen two, good screen.
Yes.
All right, good. Just go out to Google, put QuickBooks Test Drive is. Remember, this is a company that I can interact with so I don't screw up my own QuickBooks file. You guys are open to do this. It's not just available to me. Anybody can do it if you want to test out a transaction of how it works. You can do that there. Just make sure you get the right link. This one's not the right one. Wants me to test drive QuickBooks Time. Um, come on. Give me the right link. Here we go. So it's QBO.intuit test drive. Just gotta say you're not a robot. I don't want you guys to get like, oh, I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna close out the screen. When you close out the screen, everything you did is gone. It starts over again. Okay, it's only a sample company. So when you do it, anything that you do while you leave your browser up, will be captured. If you close that browser, it is gone forever. Okay. So we're still talking about how to get paid in QuickBooks. So I went over the workflow with you guys first. Now we're going to talk about, hey, how do I set up reoccurring invoices, right? And why do I want to set up reoccurring invoices? If you have clients that you bill them the same amount every single month or every single week on a consistent basis, then it's going to make your process much more efficient to set up a reoccurring invoice. The way that you actually do that, you just code in the new and you go to invoice, right? And when you go to invoice, you just put in whatever information you need to put for a regular invoice. So now I just selected Amy's birdhouse, her email's in. My invoice date, I'm going to say that it's 316. My due date, address populates because that's already in. And then whatever my products and services that I'm using. So let's just say that every month, me and Amy, we agreed that I'm going to do some design work for her. And that design work, I'm going to actually charge her, $75 every month for whatever that design work I would do, right? Once I have it here, I can just click down here, right? The main thing is that you want to get this invoice perfect the way it needs to be every month first, right? So make all the changes, all the edits that you need to make first. Once you actually do that, you're just going to click on this button here, this at the bottom, to make reoccurring. When you do that, this screen comes up and it's going to ask you for a template name. You just need to make sure this template name is unique, right? Then when you click on the drop down, you have scheduled, reminder, or unscheduled. Scheduled means that it's going to happen all the time. Reminder means it's not going to go out, it's going to give you a reminder. And unscheduled is just going to put it on my recurring list that if I want to push a button to get to it, I can do that. I usually typically always use scheduled, right? You can say how many days in advance you want to do this. So if I want to do this 5 days in advance, 10 days in advance, I can do that there. Okay. That's your customer. That's your email. That all carries over. You can automatically send the email, right? So once a month, this is automatically going to send the email to the client with the bill. You also, if you have unbilled charges, you can check this box and say, if we add any additional charges on, let's add those on as well. So if you had already billed charges, so it won't be 75, it'll be the 75 plus anything that's unbilled. It'll automatically happen for you. The interview that happens, so here we're saying monthly, but you have the option to do it daily. I wish I could charge people daily. So how do we work up to that? So if you had an agreement that you was charging someone daily a fee and that's what it was, you can set this to be daily, or weekly, monthly, or yearly. So I'm just gonna say monthly for now, and then it actually on the day you can say the first, the second, the third, the fourth if you want to use that. But I usually say the day, and I say, hey, I'm gonna charge you on the first of the month, and then you can say every month or every 3 months, every 6 months, however you want it to be. So you can play with that a little bit. And then you can put in the date that it starts. Remember, if it's March 16th, you can't put a start date in for March 1, right? The next time that this will happen is 4/1. So it won't go back. Just keep that in mind. This start date, just in case you're setting up on 3/16 and you're saying the 1st, and you don't want it to be April 1st, then I need to put a date in here if I want it to be 5/1 that this is going to start. So that's what the start date is. If you know that it's an end date, you can put end by, or you could put after this date, and you can put the number of occurrences that you want this to happen for. So you got a lot of power and a lot of flexibility there, right? Then your terms, if your terms is 30 days, if it's not, just change it to due on receipt, whatever that might be. You notice my $75 is here. Once I hit save this template, then this invoice is going to happen every month starting 5/1 until I stop it. So I would just save that template. Now what happens, and what's great about this, right? We actually do this, and our customers get invoices when I'm sleeping. So once I set this up once, I don't have to do anything else. Those invoices just happen automatically. So if you have customers that has same amount that you charge them every month, use that. Or you can set it up if you have unbilled charges. You can add unbilled charges and it'll go to. I don't recommend unbilled charges and invoice going out. That's a little scary for me because if someone makes a mistake on an unbilled charge, it automatically goes out. So I don't use that functionality. But if you guys are comfortable using that, by all means use it. So that's how I'll actually set up a reoccurring invoice. So it's that simple. Just create the invoice once, click on the bottom for reoccurring, and then save it. That's it. That client, that customer is going to get that invoice based upon how you set it up, like clockwork. All right. So utilize that if it makes sense for you. Other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is I have that invoice there, but now what if I got permission to automatically charge that client, right? Right? We have a process here, right? There's a minimum fee. So if your bill is under minimum fee, I am not billing you and waiting to get paid, right? We agree with our clients that we have fixed fees. So if that bill is $300 a month, they're going to sign an authorization to authorize us just to automatically hit their bank account or hit their credit card. This is the one thing that I want you guys to keep in mind because I've been having this discussion with a lot of clients. And the first question that comes up, because in order for us to do that, you need to use merchant services within QuickBooks in order to do that, to get this functionality to work. You could use Stripe. You can use something out of QuickBooks, yes. I don't know if it makes sense. And I'll tell you why. This was our downfall. I was thinking about the QuickBooks fees and what they actually charge you to do it. And I was using another platform. Well, it cost us so much time to go on that other platform to set it up. And then when things were going wrong, we had to fix it in the other platform. We had to fix it in QuickBooks. It was a mess. A lot of people says, oh, I don't want to accept credit cards because it costs me a certain amount. Well, what if you have to pick up the phone and call someone for payment? That costs you time. And I don't think what people factor in, how much time would it take me to collect? Is it worth me have to follow up on this? Or is it worth me paying $2 or $3 for this charge that, yeah, I get it. I'm going to lose that amount, but I don't have to have a receivable person that's going to go and chase money for me. So take that in consideration when you talk about, hey, do I want to turn on automatic payments? It does cost something, yes. It costs either a percentage or up into a max amount, depending if you're charging a credit card or their bank account. But I would tell you guys to explore that option because what I can do, right? So that was an invoice. If I set up a sales receipt, okay, and I have credit card processing set up within QuickBooks, that same amount for Amy's Bird Sanctuary that we agreed to, right, for Concrete, that it was going to be 75. No, it was design. Let's just make it design because I just want to be consistent here, right? Same thing. The only difference between a sales receipt and invoice means I'm getting paid later. Sales receipt means I'm getting paid now. What I have the power to do when I have a sales receipt on this payment method, I can actually put that this is going to be a check or this is going to be a credit card. When I put that in, and merchant services not turned on, if it was actually turned on here, when I put MasterCard in, it will ask me for the client's information. I will put that information in one time. I will make this reoccurring. Instead of sending an invoice, it's going to charge the account or it's going to charge their credit card and send them a receipt. What am I doing there? Now, I don't have to call. I don't have to follow up for the payment. I'm just paid. I wake up the next day. The money's in my bank account. So you guys want to go through that battle. A lot of people says, well, I'm going to use this because I'm going to get a cheaper fee. Really? But you're not going to have this integration functionality, which may cost you some more time. So pick your battles. If there is a cost factor, just weigh that battle and make sure it's what's best for you. I think people never take into calculation how much time does it take someone manually to do this, which has a cost factor. So keep that in mind. The last thing I want to show you and what I promise you, and then we'll get into Q&A, is how do I actually follow up automatically, right? So inside your settings here, in account settings, you have reminders that you can actually turn on, okay? So down here, when you click on your account settings and you go to sales, you have reminders. And what I want to do, right, if I'm sending an invoice out and I'm not getting paid automatically, then I want to follow up, okay? I want to follow up with these reminders, and I'm going to turn this on, right? And then I can actually say here when you want to remind them for the invoice. 3 days before the invoice date, right? You can pick options here. So if I turn this one on, I can say on the due date I can remind them. I can remind them 7 days before. I can pick these different options of when I want to remind them, and I can change from before or after, right? And then I can also draft the email that they're going to get and change whatever I want to say here. This way, at certain times, that's why you got to think about your workflow. If I want to send a reminder 7 days after the invoice was due, I can set that up automatically. This way, instead of me having to pick up the phone, my first step in my workflow is that they're going to get an email reminding them that they have an overdue invoice. And then once I set up those parameters in here for these invoice reminders and hit save, that's going to be on. It failed the right settings because maybe I'm in a test company. But once I hit save, those are going to be on. My client's going to get reminders on any overdue invoices that's there, or I'm reminding them before. So your choice. So I highly recommend to you guys, right? Set up recurring invoices if that works for you. Or if you're willing to pay the fees for merchant services, set them up automatically. Automatically hit their bank accounts. Automatically hit their credit card. You do need an agreement to do that, right? You do need. So this is one of our agreements that we have to do this. That just says, hey, they're giving you permission to charge a bank account and what the amount is for automatic billing authorization form. I will drop this one in the Facebook group. I'm baiting people now. So if you want that, and you're on this call, you're not part of our Facebook group, join the Facebook group. It will be in there today if you want that. And this is a way that you can share with your client, your customer. You get them to sign that. You can automatically charge their account by having that. And send reminders. So use that functionality to drive efficiency. Sylvia, I'll turn it over to you and we will hit Q&A.